His heart stopped on the 10th floor of a building under construction. The paramedics pronounced him dead for minutes, but when his soul left his body, he didn't see darkness. He saw a face that had been with him all his life. My name is Christian Miguel Navarro Salazar. I am 41 years old and was born in Guadalajara, Jalisco, in the Chapalita neighborhood, where I grew up in a traditional family that instilled in me from childhood a devotion to the Virgin of Zapopan and a respect for the Catholic traditions that have marked my family for generations. Every year we accompanied the Virgin on her procession, prayed the rosary in the afternoons with my grandmother Esperanza, and never failed to attend Sunday Mass at the parish of El Sagrario. But if I'm completely honest, my faith was superficial. I believed in God the same way I believed the sun would rise tomorrow. Something taken for granted, but never truly explored. I never imagined that one day I would be here sharing an experience that completely shattered everything I thought I knew about how truly accompanied we are in every second of our existence, how deeply we are loved by beings we have never seen, but who have been watching over us since the exact moment we were conceived. I was working as a civil engineer for a major construction company in the city, overseeing the construction of residential buildings in the Guadalajara metropolitan area. It was a completely normal day when everything changed. I remember I was inspecting the top floors of a building under construction in Zapopan, checking the concrete structures and verifying that everything complied with safety regulations. The weather was heavy that morning, one of those days when the Jalisco heat feels dense and suffocating. I had climbed to the 10th floor by stairs because the elevators weren't working yet, and when I got up there, I felt a strange dizziness. I ignored it, thinking it was the heat, the altitude, maybe I hadn't eaten a proper breakfast. I continued with my work because we had deadlines to meet and the team depended on my supervision. The dizziness intensified until it became something else entirely. I felt as if the world was tilting, as if the floor beneath my feet was no longer solid. I tried to grab onto a column, but my legs buckled. The last thing I remember of the physical world was the scream of one of the workers, the sound of tools falling, and then a darkness that wasn't simply the absence of light, but a transition to another dimension of existence. I didn't lose consciousness in the traditional sense. My consciousness expanded. Suddenly I was no longer in my body, I was floating above the scene, watching the workers rushing toward my body slumped on the concrete floor. I saw my foreman, Don Ramon, frantically dialing emergency services. I saw my own pale face, my closed eyes, my motionless chest. And the strange thing is, I didn't panic. I felt a peace so profound that all the worries I carried, all the pressures of work, all the anxieties about money and the future, simply evaporated like dew in the morning sun. Then I realized that I wasn't alone in that space between life and death. There was someone beside me. I turned around and what I saw took my breath away, even though I no longer had any physical breath left to lose. It was a being made entirely of light, but not a light that hurt the eyes, but a light that comforted the soul. It had a human form, but transcended humanity. It sent feedback. His face was of a beauty impossible to capture with human words. And in his eyes I saw something that made me cry instantly. I saw unconditional love, I saw total knowledge, I saw a familiarity that transcended time. In that moment I knew with absolute certainty who this radiant being was. He was my guardian angel, the guardian who had been by my side every day of my life without me truly knowing it. The angel didn't speak with sounds, but with direct communication to the heart. Everything I needed to know I understood instantly. He then showed me something that completely broke me. He began to show me moments of my life, but from an angle I had never seen. I saw myself as a child. I was barely 5 years old and I was playing near the street in my neighborhood. A ball rolled toward the avenue and I ran after it without looking. I saw a cargo truck approaching at full speed. I also saw my angel. His outstretched hand, creating an invisible barrier that made me stumble just before reaching the edge of the sidewalk. The truck roared past exactly where I would have been. I always thought it was my own clumsiness, a silly stumble. I never knew my angel had saved my life that day. He showed me another scene. I was 23 and had just graduated from college. I was at a party with friends, all of us drinking heavily, and someone suggested we drive to Puerto Vallarta that same night. I was about to get in the car when I felt a strange discomfort in my stomach, a sudden nausea that made me run to the bathroom. By the time I came out, my friends had already left without me. The next morning I learned they had been in a terrible accident on the highway. 2 died. 3 were seriously injured. I always thought it was luck. A fortunate coincidence. Now I saw my guardian angel, the whispering warnings to my spirit, creating that physical discomfort that saved me from certain death, but the visions became harder to bear. It showed me moments when I had sinned, moments when I made selfish or cruel choices. I saw the time I cheated on my wife during a business trip to Monterey. I remembered that night perfectly, the rationalization I made, the momentary pleasure followed by guilt. But now I saw something I hadn't seen before. Then I saw my guardian angel standing in that hotel room, her radiant face contorted in indescribable pain. I saw how she tried to stop me, how she sent warnings to my conscience that I deliberately ignored. I saw how she wept, and an angel's tears are like stars falling from the sky, each one laden with the weight of rejected love. I also saw my wife Maria Fernandez's angel standing in our house in Guadalajara, comforting her as she slept, still unaware of what I had done. But her angel already knew and was preparing to help her through the pain to come. It showed me moments when I was cruel to my son Diego, when I yelled at him for getting bad grades instead of asking him what was going on in his life. I saw his guardian angel trying to inspire patience in me, trying to soften my heart as I chose anger over understanding. It showed me the times I walked past homeless people on the streets of Guadalajara and deliberately looked away, hardening my heart against their suffering. I saw his guardian angels desperately interceding, trying to create a connection between my heart and theirs, as I consciously closed that door. Each vision was like a knife to the soul. Not because my angel condemned me, he never looked at me with anything but love, but because he finally understood the magnitude of what I had ignored. I had lived 37 years thinking I was alone, making decisions as if no one was watching, as if my actions happened in a vacuum. Now I saw that every moment, every thought, every choice had been witnessed by this magnificent being who loved me with a love I didn't deserve, but which he couldn't help but give, because that's how God had created him. Then, the atmosphere changed completely. A light appeared in the distance, but it wasn't like my angel's light. This light was infinitely brighter, purer, more alive. It was as if the very essence of love had become visible. As it drew nearer, it took human form, and my heart knew before my mind could process it. It was Jesus, the Lord to whom I had mechanically prayed my entire life, now standing before me. And his presence was so overwhelming that I fell to my knees, or whatever passes for knees in that spiritual state. Jesus was exactly as the saints and mystics had described, yet also completely beyond description. His eyes held all the compassion of the universe, but also all the truth that cannot be evaded. When he looked at me, I knew he saw me completely, every sin, every virtue, every moment of cowardice, and every moment of courage. And instead of condemnation, his face displayed a sadness mingled with immeasurable love. He lifted me up in his hands, and his touch was more real than anything I had ever felt on earth. Jesus looked at my guardian angel and then at me. When he spoke, his voice resonated not only in my ears but in every fiber of my being. He said, "Christian, you are seeing your angel now for the first time with total clarity. Throughout your life you felt his presence in fleeting moments, in inexplicable hunches, in dangers averted that you called luck, in whispers of awareness that you called intuition. But you never truly understood that there was a real being, a creature of pure light created by me, specifically for you, who has been by your side every second since you were conceived in your mother's womb." I remained silent, unable to speak, overwhelmed by the truth of his words. Jesus continued, There is a deep misunderstanding among human beings about what happens to the guardian angel when a person dies. Many think that the angel simply leaves, its work finished, its mission accomplished, but the truth is infinitely more beautiful and more important than you can imagine. The guardian angel does not abandon you in death. In fact, it is in death that you finally see him with absolute clarity. For the first time the clouds of physical existence dissipate, and your soul directly perceives what was always there, but which you couldn't fully see. Jesus extended his hand and gently touched my forehead, and with that touch came knowledge that flowed directly into my understanding. He said, "Your angel has several missions, Christian, and his work doesn't end when your body dies. During your life on earth, your angel is your guardian, your protector, your spiritual guide. He fights invisible battles against demonic forces that try to drag you into sin. He whispers warnings when you approach danger. He inspires good thoughts when your mind turns toward darkness. He constantly intercedes before my throne, presenting your needs, your struggles, your small and great victories. But when you die, your angel's role evolves in ways that the living rarely understand." Jesus then showed me a vision. I saw the exact moment of death of different souls. I saw an elderly man in Merida, Yucatan, who had lived a simple but devout life. He worked his entire life as a carpenter. He crafted beautiful furniture with his own hands. He raised his children in the fear of God. And every night, when his heart gave its last beat in his bed, surrounded by his family, I saw his soul depart from his body. And there, standing beside his bed, was his guardian angel in all its radiant splendor. The old man saw him and cried out with pure joy. "You always knew you were there. Thank you, thank you, thank you." The angel embraced him with such tenderness that even witnessing it brought tears to my eyes. And together, hand in hand like old friends finally reunited after a long separation, they walked toward the divine light that awaited them. Jesus showed me another soul, a young woman from Puebla who died in a car accident on the highway to Colula. She was only 25 years old and had cultivated a deep relationship with her guardian angel since childhood. She spoke to him constantly, asked for his advice, thanked him, and included him in her daily prayers. When her soul separated from her body, which was mangled in the accident, the first thing she saw was her radiant and beautiful angel, smiling with indescribable joy. She ran to him, literally ran in spirit and threw herself into his arms like a child reunited with her father after a long journey. The angel enveloped her with his wings and whispered, "We made it, dear soul. You heeded my warnings, followed my guidance, resisted the temptations I placed before you to strengthen you. Now let's go home together, and I will present your soul before the throne of God with pride and joy." But then Jesus showed me something that made me tremble with horror. He showed me the moment of death of a man in Tijuana who had lived a life of deliberate rejection of God. It wasn't that he didn't know about God, he knew very well. He grew up Catholic, he knew the teachings, but he consciously chose the path of sin. He chose greed over generosity, lust over pure love, pride over humility. When he died of a massive heart attack in his luxurious office, surrounded by all the wealth he had accumulated through deceit and exploitation of others, his soul separated from his body, and there, standing before him, was his angel of the guardian. The man recoiled in shock. The angel was beautiful beyond words, but in his eyes there was a sadness so profound it was almost unbearable to witness. The man stammered, "Who are you? Why are you looking at me like that?" The angel replied in a voice that sounded like distant thunder, heavy with pain. "I am the one who has been with you every day of your life. I am the one who warned you before every cruel decision you made. I am the one who wept every time you chose money over mercy. I am the one who fought the demons that whispered justifications for your greed. I am the one who presented to God every tiny glimmer of kindness you showed, trying to build a case for your salvation. I am your guardian angel, and you have completely ignored me for 58 years. The man fell to his knees, not in adoration, but in utter horror, realizing the magnitude of what he had rejected. The angel continued, I saved you from dying at age 7 when you almost died. You drowned at sea. I saved you at 19 when you almost died in a car accident. I saved you at 32 when you were nearly shot in a robbery. Each time I hoped you would use that saved life to draw closer to God, but each time you drifted further away. And now, at this moment, I must stand as a witness at your trial. And the record I've built is so thin, so full of missed opportunities, that my heart breaks for you. Jesus paused the vision and looked at me intently. He said, Do you understand now, Christian? The guardian angel doesn't disappear at death. He becomes a witness. During your life, your angel observed every action, every thought, every choice, not to spy on you, but to love you, to help you, to build a defense for when you face the particular judgment before my Father's throne. When you die, when your soul separates from your body, the angel is there immediately. And the first face-to-face encounter with your angel determines much about what comes next. Jesus then showed me what happens at the particular judgment. I saw souls standing before the glorious throne of God the Father, and beside each soul was its guardian angel. The angel acted as a defense attorney, presenting evidence upon evidence of grace. I saw an angel saying before the throne, Lord, it is true that this soul sinned grievously, but look here. At this point in its life, when it was 17 years old, it knelt and sincerely asked for forgiveness. Look here when I was 30 and resisted a powerful temptation, because I remembered your commandments. Look here when she was 45 years old and gave her last penny to a poor person, even though she herself didn't have enough. These moments prove that the Holy Spirit worked in this soul, that grace was not completely rejected, that she deserves mercy and a time of purification. I also saw angels present more difficult cases, souls who had sinned greatly, but who in the last moments of life had turned back to God. I saw an angel say, Lord, is it true that this soul wasted 70 years, but in the last 5 minutes of life, when it knew it was dying, it called out your name with true repentance? Your word promises that whoever calls on your name will be saved. This soul called on your name. I claim your promise for it, and I saw God's mercy pour out on that soul. Jesus explained to me, the guardian angel is relentless in its defense of the soul assigned to him, even when the soul has sinned grievously. The angel seeks every crumb of grace, every moment of repentance, every small act of kindness it can present as evidence that God's grace touched that life. The angel is your most passionate advocate because it knows you better than anyone except God himself, and loves you with a love that cannot diminish no matter what you have done. Then Jesus showed me the most beautiful moment I could ever witness. He showed me a soul finally purified, ready to enter heaven. The soul perfectly pure ran to its angel, and they embraced with a joy that made the stars sing. The angel said, We did it. I carried you from your conception. I protected you in life, I defended you in judgment. I interceded for you in purification. And now, finally, I am taking you home. Together the soul and its angel walked toward the gates of heaven. Jesus explained to me, when a soul enters heaven, its guardian angel does not disappear or go to care for another soul. That angel was created specifically for that soul and remains with it for all eternity. But its role changes completely. It is no longer a guardian against sin, because in heaven there is no sin. It is no longer a defender in judgment because judgment has passed. The angel becomes a partner in worship, a guide to explore the infinite depths of God's mysteries, an eternal friend who shares heavenly joy. He showed me visions of heaven, where I saw souls and their guardian angels together, side by side, worshipping before the throne of God. I saw how the angel who once whispered warnings now sings praises beside the soul he protected. I saw how the angel who once fought demons now celebrates the final victory with the soul he saved. I saw the deepest friendship, more intimate than any human relationship, between the soul and its angel. A friendship that began at the moment of conception and now blossomed into eternal fullness. Jesus smiled at my amazement and said, "This is the ultimate joy of the Christian angel. Not only to guard, but finally to present the soul before my Father and say, 'This soul you entrusted to me has come home.' I protected it in life, defended it in court, interceded for it in purification, and now I deliver it whole, pure, and holy. This is the angel's mission accomplished, and there is no greater happiness in all creation." But then Jesus' face darkened, and tears began to well up in his eyes. His pain was so tangible that I felt like I was drowning in it. He said gently, "But there is another possible outcome, Christian, and this one breaks my heart more than you can imagine. There are souls who completely reject my love. Souls who, even after seeing their angel, even after understanding all that their angel did for them, choose pride over humility, hatred over love, themselves over me. These souls go to a place where I cannot follow them because they do not want to be followed. Hell is not a place where I send souls as punishment. It is a place that souls choose when they reject all that is good, all that is light, all that I am." Jesus squeezed my hand, and his anguish was overwhelming. He continued, "The angel cannot enter hell, Christian. It is impossible. The angel is a creature of pure light, created to exist in the presence of God. Hell is the total absence of God, absolute darkness where light cannot penetrate. When a soul chooses hell through a final and complete rejection of my love, the angel must be left behind, and this is one of the deepest agonies in all creation." He showed me a vision I will never forget, even if I live one lifetime. I saw a soul that had completely rejected God, that had lived in deliberate sin, and that at the moment of judgment, even seeing Jesus face to face, even understanding the whole truth, chose its own pride over the salvation offered. I saw how that soul willfully turned away from the light and began to fall into absolute darkness. And I saw that soul's guardian angel running after it, its wings outstretched, crying out, "No. Please, no. I loved you all your life. I fought for you. Don't leave me. Don't choose this." But the soul did not stop. It continued falling into the abyss until the darkness swallowed it completely. The angel paused at the edge of that darkness, unable to go any further, and what I saw on its face was such profound sorrow that it brought me to my knees, weeping. The angel wept, and its tears were like dying stars, each bearing the weight of infinite love rejected without reason. Jesus whispered, "Angels weep when they lose a soul. They weep in a way that humans cannot comprehend because their love is pure, without selfishness, without end. And the memory of the lost soul remains with the angel for all eternity. A scar on a being that would otherwise be perfectly happy." Jesus looked at me intently and said, "But there is something else you must understand about hell and the guardian angel. Although the angel cannot enter hell, the memory of the angel remains with the condemned soul forever. This is one of the tortures of hell that few understand. The souls in hell remember their angels perfectly. They remember every moment the angel tried to save them. They remember every warning ignored, every protection rejected, every opportunity for grace wasted. And that memory, combined with the utter impossibility of changing their fate, creates an agony that transcends any physical fire." He showed me the inside of hell, and what I saw horrified me beyond words. I saw souls tormented, not only by demons, but by their own memories. I saw a soul screaming, "My angel tried to stop me." I saw his face. I knew he was there and I ignored him. Why was I so stupid? Why? But in hell there is no repentance that leads to salvation, only eternal despair. I saw souls clawing at the darkness, crying out the names of angels who will never come. Because in hell there is no rescue, no second chances, no way out. Jesus closed that vision because it was too much to bear, and he embraced me as I wept uncontrollably. He said, "I am showing you this not to frighten you, but so that you understand the absolute importance of knowing your angel now, while you still have time. The fate of your soul is determined by the choices you make in life, and your angel is there every day, every moment trying to guide you to me, trying to save you from that horrible end. Jesus lifted my face with his hands and said, "Christian, now you understand. Your guardian angel isn't just a pretty symbol or a comforting idea. It's real, it's powerful, it's your best friend, even if you've never clearly seen it. And its mission doesn't end with your death. It continues through judgment, if necessary, until it finally takes you to heaven, where you'll spend eternity together. But all of this depends on your choices now in life." He looked at me deeply and continued, "I'm going to send you back, Christian. Your time hasn't come yet, but I want you to take a message to the world. Because when death comes, and it will come for everyone without exception, the face of their angel will be the first face they see. And that face will reflect the entire relationship they cultivated or ignored during their life." Jesus placed his hand on my chest, and I felt his power flowing through me. He said, "If a person lives treating the angel's warnings as coincidences, the angel's protections as luck, the angel's whispers as random thoughts, then when you die and see your angel for the first time with total clarity, there will be shame. Not because the angel condemns, but because the soul will finally understand how much it was loved and how much it squandered that love. But if a person lives in holiness, then when they die, seeing their angel will be the most joyful and imaginable reunion. It will be like arriving home after a long journey and seeing your dearest friend waiting with open arms. During the day, when you feel that small voice in your conscience, that urge to stop, the discomfort with a decision, don't ignore it. Ask, is it God through my angel trying to warn me? Then Jesus hugged me one last time and said, "Christian, when you return to your body, your life will never be the same. You will live with a constant awareness. It will make you more careful with your choices. It will make you braver in times of danger because you will know you are not alone. It will make you more patient in suffering because you will know your angel is interceding for you. And when your true death finally comes, decades in the future, if I allow it, there will be no fear because you will see your angel's face, and it will be like seeing your best friend, and together you will walk toward me." I then felt a tremendous force pulling me down. I looked down and saw a body on the concrete floor of the building under construction, surrounded by paramedics working frantically. I looked at Jesus in a panic, not wanting to leave him. He smiled and said, "Don't worry. I am with you always, and your angel will never leave you. Go now and tell what you saw. Tell them that no one is alone. Tell them that every soul has a heavenly defender who never gives up. Tell them that death is not the end of love, but the beginning of seeing it clearly." I looked at my guardian angel one last time before returning. He smiled, and his eyes shone with infinite love. He said wordlessly, "I'll be waiting for you, Christian. Finish your mission on earth. Live well, and when the time is right, I'll be here to take you home." Then I felt the defibrillator's impact drip through my chest. Explosive pain ripped me from that heavenly place and threw me back into my body. I opened my eyes gasping, coughing, alive,